Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to try and tackle a fairly simple yet eluding thing, and that is creating rocks. Now, first thing you want to ask yourself, why would you ever need to create rocks? Well, if you are an architect or you work in the ArchViz business, then you're probably going to come to a point where you would have to have an asset around a building or a house, which would have to be some kind of a more intricate rock. But if you are into making games and you are into making environments, rocks are very important because they can be used and reused in a variety of ways. So first, before we start modeling anything, let's just take a quick peek and try to see what do rocks actually look like and in what shapes and varieties they come. So I've actually went ahead and downloaded a few images. And here in the first one, you can see that we have a fairly smooth surfaced rock. I'm guessing this is due to some type of either water coming across it or atmospheric, atmospheric effects. The second one, you can see a very interesting rock formation, which kind of looks like a whole wall that has sedimentation on the sides. It's an interesting look. Then we have another one, which that seems fairly simple. It's basically looks like a cube, but you have all of these fine details. You have the moss, you have those intricate surface details, etc. Then you have something like this. So a very rough looking stone with a lot of jagged edges and a lot of irregular shapes. Then we have another one which kind of looks like a sphere, but it has a layered approach to it. It has chipped layers and, well, as you can see, very different from the other ones. Here are some more examples. So all of them are quite different. And the reason why I actually like this image is because it's showing you that it doesn't really matter what is the scale of the rocks. They actually resemble each other. So even these small guys resemble a lot of the details you're going to see on these big rocks. Then you have some more, again, more intricate look. And then you have even rocks like these, which can be found around water bodies like oceans or seas, lakes, whatever. And in all honesty, it looks like nature is drunk over here because you have a lot of trees on top of this, but hey, it's nature. It comes in all sizes and varieties. And here are some more. So as you can see, we have a lot of variety in rocks. And there is only one thing that's in common for all of them, and that is the fact that there are no rules here. So basically, you can do anything that you might want to, as long as it looks fun and it looks interesting. All right, so now that we already saw all of the different rocks that we can make, let's proceed to actually try and see how we can make some of them. So for example, let's start with simple, either a sphere or a cube or a cylinder, really doesn't matter. Let's go with a sphere. All right, just drag one out. Press T so we enter edit mode. All right, and for this one, I'm gonna go down to, well, first of all, I'm gonna make it a polymesh 3D so I can work on it. Then hit geometry. Go down to Dynamesh, give it a resolution of let's try with 256. That should go well, and Dynamesh this. All right, so as you can see, we have a very dense mesh now, so we can start to tweak around and start making this look like a rock. So first thing I'm going to do is change my material because I really don't like the original matte cap. So I'm going to go try something more grayish like this. All right, so first thing I'm going to try and do is try to break up the symmetry. So I'm going to go BMV or BMT. So the BMV is for move, the BMT is move topological, which is more similar to the move brush, but it basically just takes and moves pieces or geometry that's topologically next to each other. So there you go. Let's just try and give it a bit of a look like this. All right. Smooth it again. All right. And I'm going to try and just scale this like this. Let's go scale. Squash it in from the side again. All right, we have something, BMV, remove. So as we saw in the beginning, there are really no wrong ways of doing this because rocks come in all varieties and shapes. Now the only thing that you need to define when you're starting your rock is the scale of the rock. For example, bigger rocks will require you to put in a bit more details as they will be needed if you want to see those rocks better. While smaller ones will, well, you can add in the details, but they are not really that visible. All right, so once you get it to a point where you like it and it's no longer symmetrical, we can proceed to either start sculpting on this rock as it is, or try and make it a bit more interesting. For this, I'm going to go in my move tool. Once again, just drag out the line, hold down Control, and just drag out one copy. So while you're holding down Control and you have the move transpose line, you can make a clone of this. So now I can go ahead and either scale this or even rotate it to a position where I would like it to be. Let's see if this is going to look fine. Okay, I'm going to move it just downward a tad bit here. So it's going to give me some more planes. And once I'm ready, I'm just going to hold down Control and make one selection on the side, and then hold down Control and just make one more. And since we have Dynamesh, both of them are going to be well, they're going to be combined and they're going to be one continuous shape. So now if I go and smooth it between them, you can see that they join in like this. All right, like this. Awesome. So we have some form. Again, I can go ahead and make one more copy. This time around, I'm going to rotate it like this. I'm going to scale it down a bit and simply just move it outwards so I can actually see it better. All right. Rotate. I'm just trying to get it to a shape where it will be more interesting. All right, this is okay. Again, redynamesh it like this. Okay, so I have my first pass, or more or less my blob or my clay look. So as you can see, it looks like, well, it looks like I've taken a few pieces of potatoes and mashed them together. So now we need to give it a bit more details and a bit more form. Now, giving form to this shouldn't be that hard. For example, I want to cut in some sharp edges. The easiest way to do this would be to use some of the tools we have over here. So for this, I'm going to use my trim curve brush. So in order to be able to access these brushes, all you have to do is hold down Control and Alt. What you're going to notice is while you're holding just Control, this changes to mask pen. When you press Shift, this changes to a select rectangular. So I'm gonna select over here, and from here I'm either gonna go trim curve or trim lasso, or whatever I want. Let's try with trim curve. All right, so now while I'm holding Control and Shift and I drag out a line, you're gonna notice this line that has a black outline on the right side or the left side, depending on where you draw it out from. So if I want to move this line, I can press, while I am holding down the Control and Shift, I press space and I can move that line around. So for example, if I put it over here and then let go, this is what happens. I get a very, very clean and precise cut, which is kind of okay if I want to get those kinds of surfaces. So again, let's try it one more time over here, then go like this. And this is very important. If you, as you can see over here, I just made it over here like that, but it continued on going this way. So make sure that when you're cutting, you don't do something like this, because it will not stop over here. It will continue and it will cut your entire model. For example, if I go like just like this, the entire rock has been cut in there. So let's just go ahead and make a few more quick cuts, and then we will resort to using more traditional, there we go. Nah, it's too hard. All right, let's go ahead and just try a few more cuts. Okay. All right, so basically out of this rock, we managed to get a few clean cuts in the very quick way by using the trim brush. Now, let's continue and try to get in more shapes by using actual trim brush. Accessing the trim brush is quite easy. All you have to do is go B for brush, then you go T for trim brush, and from here you simply choose which one you want. You have trim dynamic, which is a very good brush, as you will see right here. And the way it works is once you click, you can basically just go ahead and get a flat surface, which is kind of awesome when you have faces or surfaces that you want to have flat. Something like this. Let's go. Make it some planar, so make it so it has some planar surfaces. So remember, we're still just shaping up the original or the first pass detailed for the rock. So go like this. Okay, awesome. Let's try to break up those very, very sharp edges we have from the trim slice. All right. So as you can see, this is all by just using the most simple trim dynamic brush. You have a few other brushes that you can use for something like this. For example, if you want, you can use the trim brush, but with the smooth edges. And here's the thing. When you want to find that brush, if you go like B and then go T for trim, you don't have that brush over here. But you actually do have it on your computer. So all you have to do is open up the lightbox or press comma, then jump over in the brush menu over here. And then you have folders for all of your brushes. Now we want to go in our trim brush, double click, and in here you have different trim brushes. You have trim dynamic, see, you have the trim dynamic soft edges. So we can either use this one or any one of these trim brushes. So for these soft edges, this is actually a very good brush when it comes to making rocks, but just let's change the alpha from the original one or the standard one to something like a squared alpha. So something like either this one, yeah, this is gonna work. Alpha 28 is gonna work. So if I drag out now my depending on where I click, I'm either gonna get a very, very flat surface, and the edges are not gonna be sharp like I've cut them with a knife. There we go. I got some really nice indentations. There we go. Interesting. It's already giving me some nice, interesting details. Erratic details. There we go. So basically now you just have to go over it and try. Oh, man! Sometimes you really have to like be careful where you go with it. I'm gonna click on the back face skull because I really don't want to get it. So it's going that way. There we go. All right, now let's chip in the edges like this. One of the things that you're gonna notice me doing is do a lot of repetitive work here, and I'm afraid that is something that you cannot escape. When you're making rocks, you're gonna spend quite a bit of time trying to refine those edges, trying to break up the surface, give it a bit more, well, a bit more organic look. Because when you're working with some, well, hard surface or machine-like models, they have a very clear defined lines, opposed to rocks. Rocks, well, they tend to be more organic, even though they are hard surface. All right, there we go, like this. This is gonna do fine. And like I said a few times already, we are still in the first phase. We're just blocking out major forms. There we go. All right, this is gonna break it up. As soon as we're finished up with breaking up the main form, we're then gonna continue with adding in more details with the help of alphas and making it so it looks more like a rock instead of having something that looks like a potato. All right, break it up a bit more, and at the end we're also going to make a low poly version of this and bake out all of the details. All right, let's just smooth it up. All right, from what I'm seeing, I'm starting to get some interesting results. There we go. Okay, awesome. We have some kind of an interesting rock forming up slowly but surely. All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try, and I can either stop the video here and pause it while I do all this, or I can, well, I'm not gonna stop the video and continue something like this because you can do it on your own, because I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to be following this step by step, because you're gonna try and do it on a rock of your own. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna leave it on like this. And now let's continue to give it a bit more details in this pass before we continue going on more smaller or more intricate details. And while we're still at this stage, I just want to go ahead and show you one other trick that you can use for making rocks, and that is when you want to achieve a result that is going to be similar to one of the rocks that we already seen in in the beginning of the video. Namely, we want to see how we can create some of the details that we can see on this rock over here. As you can see, it kind of looks like it's layered one on top of the other. Like all of the layers of the rock, it looks like they're eaten up. And in ZBrush, you actually can create this very, very simple. All you have to do is use up a brush called layer. So go B, go press L for layers, and click layer. Now here's the thing, once you press layer, you're gonna see something happening over here. That is that the way this mask works, or this brush works. So it basically it's making one layer like this. And when you go over it, it's not going to add in another layer until you let go. So I'm going to let go and then go one more time on top of it. As you can see now, it's layering up that second layer. There you go. Then I'm going to let go, click again, add in yet a third layer. And this is a very nice way, as you can see, to add in extra layers. I'm going to Control Z. So if you want to have it go inwards, just hold down Alt, and that is going to give you a negative. So it's going to chip in on the rock like this. There we go. Hold down Alt again. Get it another layer. And there you can see that our rock over here looks like it has been either damaged or, well, it has been worn out. So I'm gonna go one more on top of here. And now you have this very interesting looking layering system. So I'm going to go ahead and project this. All right, there we go. And this layer brush is a very, very nice addition, especially if you want to add in some damage, or even when you're modeling tissue damage like scars. And it really does work well because, well, skin, just like these rocks, is made out of layers. So when you make damage like this, there you go, something like this, and then you go like one more downwards, it can really look like a damaged piece of skin. Or here in this case, it can really look like the rock has been seen some damage. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go Control Z because I really didn't like the result that I got from that, but you get the idea. By using the layer brush, you can get in some details like that one. All right, so once we have all of this happening here, I want to add in some general information here. And that information, before I go ahead and apply any more alphas or anything, I can go and jump into my surface tab over here and click on noise. So this is going to open up Noisemaker. So Noisemaker is a very interesting tool that ZBrush has, and it can add noise to your model like it says. So the way to do it is you can click on the noise scale, increase the scale. As you can see right away here in the preview, our rock has been changed. It kind of looks like a rock now. With all of those fine details, it really does look good. You can control the strength of the effect. If you go overboard, you're going to get something very unrealistic looking. If you go plus, instead of getting indentations, you're going to get a rock that has all of those details protruding outwards or going to the outer side. So let's just get it to a point where it kind of looks, well, in all honesty, I think I preferred the version which was going inwards. There we go. Let's just try and, it's a very, very, very sensitive. There we go. I like this one. So I'm going to click OK. And as you can see, now we have a lot of details over here in our rock. But here's the thing. If you want to keep all of these details, you need to come over here and press Apply to Mesh. And here's the thing. At the moment, my mesh is 215,000 points. So if I click on Apply to Mesh, all of that detail is going to be applied to our mesh as best it's possible with the underlying geometry, which in this case is really not that much. So I'm going to go Control Z. And for this, I'm going to go to Geometry. And instead of Dynamesh 256, I'm going to try and hit it to 400. I'm going to try and not get it too high, because if I go overboard, it's pretty possible that well, ZBrush might crash. So I'm going to go like this. Hopefully the projection this time will increase our active points to higher than 215,000. Hopefully it will not crash. All right, it didn't crash. We're at 500,000. Again, let's go down to surface and hit apply to mesh. Again, we got some information in here, but we can probably do a lot better. But for now, we're actually going to stick with this. All right. And we have this very rough looking base for a rock, which is a nice starting point on which we can further build our rock. Alright, so now seeing as how this video has been going on for quite a bit, I would like to cut it short here. And in the next video, we're going to continue adding in more details and going with the second pass and giving it more, well, intricate design look. So hope you guys had fun and you learned something new. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll meet you in the comment section of the video. If you enjoyed the video, then please do click the like button, and if you're not subscribed, now is a great time to do so. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.